transition team has named the first ever female White House chief of staff.
And in the coming days, Trump is expected to meet with President Biden at the White House to discuss the transfer of power.
Danielle DeRoss here back with us at the live desk with more as this transition gets underway. Danielle, what do we know?
Matt and Sam, a force in Florida politics has now been named the new chief of staff. Her name is Susie Wiles, and she'll be the first woman to ever hold this position. Wiles was Trump's campaign manager, and she's a political insider from our state who has previously worked on campaigns for Governor Ron DeSantis and Senator Rick Scott. This announcement comes as Trump looks to leverage the new Republican majority in the Senate to achieve his agenda, including the extension of tax cuts, deregulation across federal agencies, tariffs on imported goods, and mass deportations of millions of undocumented immigrants. Trump is also preparing to meet with President Biden at the White House soon. We heard from Biden yesterday, who stressed the importance of a peaceful transfer of power and respect for election results.
Something I hope we can do, no matter who you voted for, is see each other not as adversaries, but as fellow Americans. Bring down the temperature. I also hope we can lay to rest the question about the integrity of the American electoral system. It is honest, it is fair, and it is transparent. And it can be trusted, win or lose.
Votes are still being counted, but right now we do know that Donald Trump is now the winner of Nevada, another battleground state that's flipped from voting for Joe Biden in 2020. Right now, control of the House is still undetermined, but Republicans are closer to securing those 218 seats that they need to retain their majority. Right now, you can see the latest count. Republicans have 212 seats. Democrats have 200. Sam.
And Danielle, as for the rest of Trump's transition team, we're learning they are based out of West Palm Beach. Over the last 48 hours, they've been working around the clock figuring out who will fill Trump's cabinet. Two people are in charge of getting him back on Pennsylvania Avenue. Those are billionaires Howard Lutnick and Linda McMahon. After her 2-year stint under Trump's first administration, McMahon was board chair of American First Policy Institute, a think tank formed by Trump allies after he lost in 2020. McMahon also led the pro-Trump super PAC American Action First. Now, Lutnick campaigned for Trump during his first White House run in 2016. This go around, he gave $10 million to Trump's campaign and then helped raise over $75 million. Right now, McMahon is reportedly overseeing policy while Lutnick is in charge of personnel. Trump's sons, Donald Jr. and Eric, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, and Tulsi Gabbard are also on the transition team.
This year's elections have created some firsts for our lawmakers. 2 black women will simultaneously serve in the Senate for the first time. Angela Also Brooks of Maryland and Lisa Blunt Rochester of Delaware. New Jersey's Andy Kim is the first Korean American in the Senate. Bernie Moreno of Ohio is the first Latino to represent the state in the Senate. There will also be the first openly transgender lawmaker in the House, Sarah McBride of Delaware. Advocates say there's still a long way to go to make sure there is more equal representation.